Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I just thought that I would jump on a live and talk about what's going on in Bitcoin at the moment. Because Bitcoin, I've got the chart in front of me, is currently sitting at $88,809, which is wild. Everywhere I look on social media, people are calling a bear market. There's extreme fear going on. I've been looking at the fear and greed index, and at the moment, Coin Market Cap's Fear and Greed Index has got it as 16 in extreme fear. So, what I wanted to know from you guys, I'm doing some research for another video. How low do we think these charts can actually go? And what's really going on at the moment? Are you in that mentality that you think there's a big bear market coming, or do you think it's a shakeout? Where are you sitting? Because I don't think social media always gives us a reflective indication as to where people are. I see so many people in my comments going, buy, this is a great time to buy. Let's DCA in, which, if I'm honest, if you're a long-term holder, is probably quite a good strategy. But not everybody that's investing in crypto is holding for long term. And I think we always have to remember that. I've got somebody in the comments saying one of the crypto Wolfpack mods, Phil, is saying 83. That's still a big drop, isn't it? That's another 5K. So actually, if it comes down there, what's going to be the impact on the rest of the crypto market? Because at the moment, the altcoins seem to be holding a lot better than Bitcoin. And I think that is Bitcoin dominance coming down? Are people taking their money completely out of crypto and investing in safer assets? I think that's always a possibility when extreme fear hits. But we've seen on the charts before, at times of extreme fear, it has bounced back up, and it's been a great buying opportunity for those people holding their spot for longer. So let's have a look in the comments. Let her know in the comments, how low do you think Bitcoin can go? Yeah, how low do you think it can go? I've seen loads of people doing chart analysis, particularly on TikTok, and there are mixed opinions across the board. So what's your opinions? Where do you think we're going to drop down to? Or do you think this is just retail getting shook out? Do you think that they're trying to clear out so that institutions can buy at a better price and we're ready for the pump? I think there is real mixed opinion at the moment as to where that goes. But I've been watching the chart for about the last hour, and it's just going down and down and down and down. Although we've got a green candle, I'm on the 10-minute chart, which is probably good news. But whether or not we've reached a bottom where it's got enough momentum and volume to push back up, that's the other question, isn't it? Because I know there's not lots of trading going on at the moment. I've been looking at the heat maps. There are significantly less volume of trading going on at the moment, which I think is probably understandable, especially in retail. When people are worried or in extreme fear, they're probably going to back away. But it would also be really good to know, are people leverage trading at the moment, or are we holding spot? Hopefully no lower than 85K, but as low as it needs to go before it bounces. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pi cycle indicator as well, as many options haven't fired. Still not a guarantee, but still hopeful. Yeah, and I think if you have been in crypto for a long time, you have been through these cycles before. And for the new people that are investing and they haven't been through these cycles, it probably feels really scary. And I think we've also got other factors at play at the moment, which we probably didn't have in other markets. We know that we've got this new ISO 20022 coming in. It's going to start being phased in at the end of this month, which I think is going to be a massive change, because all of a sudden the world of crypto that was completely decentralized is suddenly going to be able to work on the same rails as traditional finance. And that could be a massive changer for crypto moving forward. We've got Donald Trump, who's a massive crypto advocate. And obviously, if you watch the video that I put out yesterday, his family are massively invested in crypto and putting America on the map for how far they can use crypto reserves to get America out of debt. And also just from a personal perspective as to their wealth and their journey in crypto. So I think there are major players in play at the moment. Geopolitical stuff seems to be affecting the markets more than ever. Crypto used to just sit as kind of a more of an independent asset, and now it's massively affected. We see one tweet go out, or we see one headline or one rumor of a headline, and all of a sudden it has a massive impact on the markets. And also, I think the other thing to think about, because it's something I saw in my comments today, was people talking about people taking money out of crypto and not investing it in gold, which I think would have normally have been something that people would have done. They would have taken it out of one and put it into what they consider to be a safer asset. And that also hasn't happened at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting time. I don't know where this bottom is. I don't think many people know where this bottom is. Is there an argument that there are bigger players at play that are manipulating the market to try and get the prices down so that they can buy huge amounts of it? Potentially. We've also got to consider that we've got EFTs. Some of them have only just been launched, like the XRP EFT last week. But there's been huge amounts of money that have been taken out of the EFTs. BlackRock lost $500 million in one single day. So that's going to make a massive difference as well. And there are so many factors at play. So tell me in the comments, where do you think Bitcoin is going to bounce? Where is the bottom? Bitcoin can go as low as its utility value. Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. As we get to the point where we get more utility from these crypto projects and tokens, I think that the whole world opens up in a way that it had never opened up in crypto before. And personally, I think there are so many people that are not involved in the crypto space that hear crypto and they go, "Oh no, I'm not interested in that," that actually won't realize it's not going to be very long before this technology that yet they're using on a day-to-day basis will be based on blockchain technology. And they're going to be using it without even realizing they're using it. And mass adoption, I think a lot of people want, because it's going to give, hopefully, crypto more value moving forward. But it also removes that element of what crypto and what Bitcoin was ever developed for in the first place. So yeah, it's really interesting at the moment. It's a really interesting time to be in this space. I think Bitcoin whales lost faith in its legs. Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. If we've got so much money coming out of ETFs, particularly Bitcoin ETF, then that does indicate that people might be losing a little bit of faith. Where's the money going at the moment, Paula? I think into safer assets. I think that's probably the reality. Stuff being moved into safer funds with lower risk, because crypto is the riskiest asset, isn't it? And I think we all know that. Anybody that's going to invest in this market knows the volatility that's attached to crypto. Not gold at the moment. If you look at the gold prices at the moment, they've come down. They've come down massively. They got really high. And normally you would expect people to take their money out of crypto and put it into gold, but we haven't been seeing that at the moment. I think people are looking at bonds potentially, at things that are going to earn them a yield, but are happy to take a much lower amount of profit than they would have done previously. Big money is risk off, so moving it into less risky assets. Yeah, 100%. We've got Milkshake Matty. This could be the greatest shakeout in a long time. Yeah, because that's the argument, isn't it? You've got a lot of people saying that they think that this could be the bear market. We're starting the bear market. Oh my God, everything's going to drop. But is this just a case that we're having a shakeout? We've got the institutional investors trying to get rid of the retail investors, trying to drive the price down so that they can buy in huge volume at a lower price. And whether we want to admit it or not, I think that they have a job to do to make money on a bigger scale. It doesn't feel nice for retail investors like you and I, but their job. And I think that crossover that crypto's had, it's now being treated more like the stock market ever has. And it's really, we're really going to have to realign our thinking to bring ourselves back into a slightly different space. Marco, liquidity crisis. If only there were a digital asset that addressed this, something that provided liquidity when needed it on demand, even if only there were an on-demand liquidity crypto. Yeah, absolutely. Stone Cold says, I agree. I'm buying more at the moment, but I find it hard. Yeah, it is difficult. It's really difficult when you're looking at your bags and they're going down to think, oh, this is the time to buy some more. But we know that over the long term, dollar cost averaging, bringing your average cost of your crypto down is a good long-term strategy. But it doesn't feel nice when you're looking at it and the value of your assets have diminished massively. David says a lot more people these days doubting Satoshi's origins. In my opinion, it won't go to 500k kind of levels. Yeah, I think there has been questions, hasn't there? And we've seen this over the last few days with things that have been leaked. And in America, obviously, they've just voted for the Epstein files to be released. There has also been some links around Satoshi and that. So I think is it just speculation, or is it people using this timing of political things so that we can influence the market? I don't know. Milkshake Mate says, me too, Stone Cold. I bought some yesterday and looking again later tonight. Yeah. And I think that if you are looking at DCA buying whatever you can afford on a regular basis is a great plan long term. And especially when the prices are down, if your long term plan and your long term strategy is crypto, and you're looking, it was only a few months ago that we had Bitcoin all-time high, and now we've gone from the 125 that it was at down to, where are we now? 89. That's a huge drop. But if you bought at 125, you're going to be really feeling it now. But if you had been DCAing in and you'd reduce the cost of your investments down, then you might be feeling in a slightly different place. XRP will. XRP will. Do you know what? Ripple are, I think, absolutely killing it at the moment. There is a huge XRP community of support. There's a huge community that absolutely hate the project. And it is either a love it or hate it kind of scenario. So I think with XRP, Ripple aren't waiting to build the infrastructure. They're buying the infrastructure. And some people won't like that. Some people will absolutely love that. But I think what we've got to accept is that Ripple have invested huge amounts of money, billions of dollars in investment. And I don't think that they're going to be investing that kind of money without that real belief that they're going to create something that is going to be sustainable long term for global payments. How is bang on? We need the interest rate cuts first, then turn on the money printers. Yeah, absolutely. Quantitative easing needs to start again, but it's odd we haven't followed the M2 money supply. Yeah, 100%. And the problem with the rate cuts is that they are promised, but they're not. They're not seeming to come into fruition. And again, that gives us uncertainty. If we're expecting something, did the market price in the last interest rate cut? I think they probably did. We didn't see huge amounts of change when that news was released. But on the flip side of that, people are expecting an interest rate cut and it hasn't come and it's been put back. So again, that's going to cause real uncertainty. And when you're investing in risky assets, uncertainty is not what we're looking for. Schwartz is Satoshi. Yeah, again, agree. Some good knowing this chat. A good knowledge in this chat, so much better than TikTok. Yeah, I agree 100%. TikTok lives are wild. And actually the community here on YouTube, you guys have been so supportive since I set up the channel. And the information that you give, both to me and to the rest of the wider crypto community, is just awesome, because there's some really, really knowledgeable people in this space. And I think the more we can share that knowledge, the better, because crypto isn't going anywhere. This is only growing. It's going to 20K, Monty. Wow. Okay. I mean, I hope it doesn't go to 20K. I'd be interested to know why you think it's going to 20K. XRP is okay. Hate it, love it. I'm sticking with the IMF. Yeah, they're bigger than. Yeah, yeah, and I respect that. XRP, great. Jake Cleaver support. Looking forward to the end of the year. Yeah, absolutely. I think Stone Cold. A lot of people are looking forward to the end of the year. It's been so up and down, and we expected so much, didn't we? We expected the October. We expected there to be huge amounts of change going into Q1 next year. So I think most people want this year to be over. Agree again. That's my idea. No one touches the money creation. That was always a nonsense idea. They fought the war about currency created with any other foundation. Yeah. Buy those HBAR and XLM dips cheap. Yeah. And there are people that are really passionate about certain crypto projects. And I think that you've got to really support the things that you're buying, because there are so many different coins out there at the moment. You could buy all sorts of stuff and you could end up wasting your money. And I think doing this research about the projects that you're interested in, and finding the ones that you're committed to, and that you really support, it's personally, I think that's a fantastic way to invest your money. Stone Cold reverse carry trades need to unwind happen before Clarity Act 18th of December. This will create a supply shock. OTC and dark pools dry up, then hopefully big ETF hits. Yeah, exactly. And I think again that's another level of uncertainty because we're waiting for this Clarity Act to be implemented. We're in this dodgy ground at the moment. What happens before it is, and where is it actually going to lead once it's in? We hope that it comes in and then everything moons, don't we? Probably touched on difficulties in interacting with the market there in the UK. This market is not normal and requires such effort to participate. I remind myself that is the nature of traps. Yeah, and this market is difficult at the moment, and I think a lot of people need to be reminded of that. Because we haven't seen cycles in the way that we expected to see cycles. We were expecting to see the end of this 4-year cycle come the end of this year. And it hasn't quite panned out in the way that we were expecting. And I think there are more factors at play that are affecting the prices of crypto than there ever has been. And I think that that's something that we have to consider. And I think long-term crypto holders probably need to be just slightly readjusting their mindset as to how they're thinking about this market and this space and what is actually impacting the price of the charts. Marco, we aren't supposed to get out. The great taking is for everyone except a very few. So many will fall for the traps. They always do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'll be Trump to sign legislation, maybe not in 2025. Fundamentals still mega for me. Yeah. This is a reset swan. Yeah, and I personally think this is a reset. I think this is a shakeout. I think that institutions are taking huge amounts of money out at the moment, and they will reinvest that money. Are they holding that money in safer assets until they can buy at a better price? Probably. And it doesn't feel nice for retail investors to probably have to think about that, is the truth. I hope you're wrong. I'm sure you do. Yeah, tough times ahead. I do think it is tough times ahead. I don't think that it's going to be easy the next couple of months. And I think if you are a long-term holder, it doesn't feel nice when you're looking at your bags and the value of those are going down. But crypto, in my opinion, if you're holding it, is not a short-term gain. We need to be looking at the longer term investments. And I think everybody has to have their own exit strategy. You have to decide on when you are looking to take your money out. What's your strategy? And not just buy in and just thinking, oh God, the market's going down, so I'm going to sell. Because that panic selling is what these big institutions are hoping that retail is going to do. And then obviously if you're leverage trading, this volatility probably plays right into your hands at the moment. Bragon House did say black swans will happen. Yeah, I think black swan events will happen. And I think that we've just got to try and protect ourselves as much as we can. We've got to start looking at the macros way more than we were before. And we've got to start looking at the news, because the news and geopolitics are affecting crypto so much at the moment. And utility won't have a cycle. Um, Jack says, good work, great info. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So how low do we think it's going? It hasn't really come down that much since we've been on the stream tonight. It was about 88.9 when we started. It's 89 at the moment. But where does this go? Has anybody been charting this out? Has anybody got any predictions? I know somebody said earlier 20K, but I'm not sure what that was based on. So if you have done any charting, or if you have seen any chart analysis, what sort of numbers are people talking about? On way down, I have to move continents to trade. Okay, so I travel, make the trade, and travel back in between the US and Uruguay. Wanted to get a head start on the world coming, so I moved here. Okay, well, that's really interesting. So are there restrictions in the US to the trading that you're doing? Adrian says 73 to 75K. So I heard somebody say 76K, because he had looked at the chart and charted it down to 76K. Yeah, thank you, Matty. Let her know in the comments, how low do you think Bitcoin will go? Should we use it for a future video? Yeah. So I'm just trying to do some research at the moment, guys, because it's really difficult when all you do is look at social media and what the social media influencers are saying, because there's a lot of fear, and a lot of fear makes great content, and it gets a lot of views and it gets a lot of likes. But is that really how people are feeling? So that's why I'm really interested to know, because social media does not give you a clear and reflective understanding of what the wider crypto community is feeling at the moment. I know a lot of people are worried. You can see it, because not so many people are trading, and when that fear kicks in, then it will filter through to the amount of volume. Adrian, March, April bottoms. Oh, okay. So we're thinking much longer, much longer. I doubt it goes below 80K. Buyer will come in. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I think we've got a bit more to come personally, but I'd like to see a bounce sooner rather than later. Stone Cold. I doubt. Yeah, David. It will go some. Okay, like 666. Okay, yeah, I like that. Um, Yeah, really interesting. Really interesting. Listen, guys, I really appreciate those of you that have joined me on the live tonight. I haven't done a live on YouTube before, so it's all new to me. But I just want to say a massive thank you to the community on here that have supported me since I've started putting out these videos. I've had some amazing comments. I've had some amazing feedback. For the people that say that I'm talking too fast on my videos, I will definitely try and slow that down. Stone Cold, you're welcome, Paula. No, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll keep putting the content out. It's really important to me that you guys keep commenting, because that's how I get a better understanding of how everybody else is feeling as well. Your info factual. Yeah, and that's for me, it's about balance. Because if I can give you guys some balance and I can give you some facts that you don't already know, then being knowledgeable is being armed, isn't it? It's break even price. The miners have a cost that must be hit. I think oil drops over the long term as demand collapses. Okay, that's interesting, because the demand for oil has probably never been higher than it is at the moment. Do we think that we're going to get a world where the demand for oil is less, or do we think it's just going to run out? I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, interesting to understand where everybody else is at with that. Guys, thank you so much. Keep letting me know where you think the price of Bitcoin will go, because I really appreciate that. Marco, oil is the only commodity that is its supply and demand. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate that. Hopefully, I can jump on another live again really soon. Coming up next week, I had so many comments on the video I made all about the tax regulations for crypto changing in the UK next week that I've actually drafted in. Jamie, he is last year's UK Tax Accountant of the Year for crypto. And he's going to come and join me, and he's going to answer some of the comments that you guys had put on and some of the questions that you had around that. So I'm going to make a video next week all about UK tax and your obligations, what you need to report, what's a taxable event and what isn't a taxable event. So if that's something you're interested in, tune into that next week. Yeah, I would just really, really appreciate you guys joining me this evening, and I hope I'll see you again really soon. Thank you, guys. Take care.